would talk about a new notebook that came out. So these are actually available to the people who have crowdfunded right now, and they will be open to the general public somewhere around January from what I've been reading their crowdfunding site. With that being said, these are the Nombre Notebook N. Now, the people who actually did this were people who were actually behind a different project last year, which was this thing right here, and I liked this to a certain degree. I don't say 100%, but this was one of my favorites to use for the whole year. I actually finished using it almost, so I thought I would talk a little bit about this first before I go back into the notebooks. But yeah, last year, this is basically their creation, and it was basically a post-it of the date calendar that everybody likes to use in their hobonichis and stuff. Now, usually the date sheets are just sheets. They're not adhesive of any sort, so you had to cut them out and then you had to glue them and then paste it into your techos as respectively. Unfortunately, one thing that I did have that was an issue was that in the very beginning, because it is so thick, it just came off in chunks occasionally, and then I would have to put it back on. But obviously the adhesiveness kind of started to wear off and I had to re-glue everything back on, and obviously you can't use a normal glue because it would fall off, so I had to use something that you can actually make your own post-its with, and I used this one right here. This is by Mindwave, and if you let it dry a little bit, it'll become a post-it, so I basically had to use this ever so often, and in that sense it was a little bit frustrating to use. That's why I would say that this isn't 100% my favorite from 2018, but I did like it enough to actually introduce it to you guys in this video, and they do actually have another series of this year, so if you guys are curious, go look it up. I think they're called what was it, Hizuke, I don't really remember, but it was Hizuke something, and you can actually find it in Loft as well at this point. So yeah, with that being said, we're gonna go back into the notebook. So the Nombre Notebook N, they called it the Nombre Notebook obviously because Nombre means numbers, and they actually numbered the whole thing. So I guess for people who bullet journal, it's probably a really nice item. And I've never actually tried bullet journaling like fully before. I tried to set one up 2 years ago, and I was just way too busy. I had 2 kids and it just didn't really have enough time to do it, so I just kind of forgot about it. I just kind of threw it out the door, and I just decided that I wouldn't do bullet journaling because I just don't have the time, and I am a little bit of a perfectionist, and I didn't really want anything that looked very messy, so I just kind of gave up about it. But now that my kids are a little bit older and I do have a little bit more time, I thought I would actually try bullet journaling, see how it works for me. I ended up getting these, and this is something that they also sent when I got the Nombre notebooks, and this is just a rundown of the people who were affiliated with it, and the person who actually ran the whole thing, like the director, is this person right here. She's called Miyazaki Jun, I think, and this person has been very popular in the Japanese stationery or techo field especially. I believe she's run a couple of techo related workshops. I think she's usually a traveler's notebook person. At least that's what I remember her doing for the most part. So yeah, she is she's very popular, but I don't think I've actually seen like layouts. I just know that she talks about techos a lot and enough for people like me to actually know that she exists. And then we've got somebody who designed it, who's called Oki Hiromi. We've got a publishing company, and I don't know how to read this, Seibundo, I think. I am really terrible with kanji myself, so please don't shoot me. But yeah, we've got the publishing company, and then we've got somebody who just runs all the funding and stuff, I think. And I'm sure I've seen this person at the Tokyo Pen Show, where I actually learned about this notebook. With that being said, at the Tokyo Pen Show, they actually did not sell notebooks. They just showed the displays of this notebook, and I just decided I would get one because they had so many color variations. So they actually had 12 color variations to this thing, and I bought 2 of them from pretty much the same squad. This one is a mint green, and this one is a turquoise, and on the back, this one is a dark brown, this one is a chocolate covered background. So it's slightly different, but it's from the same field, I guess, because there was another one with another brown background. But yes, they did have a couple of different colors, and I thought that was kind of interesting. Now, with that being said, they also came with stickers, which I have a couple more, but I'm just pulling out one of these. And basically what this is that this can be your title sticker that you can just kind of write about it, or you can actually put it on the edge right here because it's just stitch bound right here and it's kind of raw, so you can just kind of paste it right here just for recording issues when you actually want to file them down, I guess. So yeah, let's just get started and review these things. So they're both besides the color, it's exactly the same. So we've got the cover and the back cover, and they're both made of the same type of paper. It says Japan made on the bottom, and there are some people who actually have the plus monthly version of it, which is basically like a monthly calendar that was embedded into it, and I was like, yeah, I don't need it because I don't know if I was going to use it for any type of journaling. But now that I have it, and the person who directed it, Miss Jun right here, she basically said that maybe you can use it for a bullet journal. So I'm like, okay, maybe I should just give it a shot. So I'm gonna try to bullet journal in this thing. But yeah, flipping it open, we're gonna open this one that I haven't really touched yet. You are greeted by this canvas-ish front page, and it also is the it's also very canvassy. So one drawback to this is that you will get a lot of texture, unfortunately, when you write on the very last page, which is I've already done in my other one. And but yeah, it's a very nice cream color, and it's very soft to the eyes, which I think is really great. And then once you open it, you've got the name of the brand, notebook again. And then opening that, you get to the first page. And the first page you can see right here is just gridded paper. And the thing that's really great about this notebook, probably for people who bullet journal, because I have tried to experiment with it in the other one, is that when you write, there's actually dots on the paper right here, and each dot represents 10 grids, so it's 10, 20, 30, 40, so there's 40 grids in total, which is really nice because you can just eyeball it very easily. Unfortunately, they don't have one that goes this way, so you do actually have to figure out how many is about that size. But again, you can just kind of calculate it with a ruler right here and just kind of go again. So it's not that big of an issue, but yeah. And then the paper of this Nombre notebook is probably what I would call standard techo paper. It's not like as thick as a Leuchtturm. It's also not super thin like a Hobonichi. It's in between. It's basically paper that I know would probably be able to hold fountain pen ink, which is probably important because they were advertising it at the Tokyo Pen Show, so if it didn't hold fountain pen ink, that would have been a big issue. But it does hold fountain pen ink issue definitely with not a lot of problem, and it is very smooth to the touch. It's just a little bit thicker than TRP, so if you guys are used to the Hobonichi, you might get thrown off a little bit by how it's a little bit sturdier, but it's not by much, honestly. Now, towards the end, they have 189 pages that you can actually write on, and then you get the last page, and then again the cover. So there is a fair amount of pages. I think the Leuchtturm is somewhere around 212, 13 pages or so, and it's about half the size, I think, of the Leuchtturm, so it's definitely thinner paper. Now, in terms of color swatches, which I did actually do because I wanted to make sure that whatever I was using in this will work, obviously, thin ballpoint pens, nothing is going to be of an issue. But while I was actually trying the more thicker and the bolder ones, I've noticed that the Schneider Express, which is this pen right here, did not work as well. It did actually end up bleeding slightly at the end, so I'm probably not going to be using this pen as much. Also, when I experimented with stamps, this is a brother stamp, like the ones that you can actually make your own. This one kind of left an obvious mark, I think. Maybe if I press it lighter, it won't be as much of a problem, but obviously I'm going to lose a little bit, like this very top part right here. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be using stamps in this thing either. But mostly everything tended to last. Even the highlighters didn't prove to be that big of an issue as well. Yeah, so that's basically what I have to say. And also, there is a fountain pen right here, and obviously it's right underneath the Schneider Express, and there is no issues. So if you are a fountain pen enthusiast, yes, it's still possible to use it. Now, I will try to be bullet journaling in this thing, so maybe I'll show you guys how it kind of goes on in a different video. But yeah, overall, the notebook itself, I'd say, is relatively of a high quality. The price tag that they originally are, well, the price that they're going to actually place on this, I think, let me see if I can actually find out how much it's going to be. It was 2,100 yen for 2 notebooks, by the way, at that time. I don't know how much it's going to end up being, however, at the end. I don't know how, like, in terms of percentage, I really don't know. Maybe it's going to be a little bit more pricier, but they're definitely nice notebooks for the price. I mean, I think I got one for practically 1,000 yen, so yeah, they're definitely not that bad of a price. But yeah, that's basically all I have for you guys today regarding this notebook, and then maybe I'll show you guys how it works out when I actually try to bullet journal in this thing. And yeah, hopefully I'll catch you guys again in another video. And if there's any questions regarding this notebook, please feel free to leave a comment and I'll try to answer it for you. So yep, bye.